The idea of taking notes by hand just seems old-fashioned to many students, but it turns out there are advantages to doing things the old-fashioned way. Dr. Reena Mehta from Uptown Allergy and Asthma joins us with what you need to know. Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is pretty interesting. This is a new study that just came out that found that kids who take notes by hand actually learn better.
Exactly. So when you type, which most people tend to think that's the most fastest way to do it, the most effective way to do it, but when you type, you basically are just going verbatim. You're typing word for word and not exactly listening or processing that information. When you actually handwrite your notes, you have to digest, you have to listen, digest, and then summarize that information. And so this recent study published in Psychological Science, what they did was the researchers took a classroom of students, divided them in half and said half of you write your notes, half of you type your notes, and then what they looked at is their ability to retain that memory, their ability to have a conceptual understanding of the knowledge, and then thirdly, their ability to generalize that information. And what they found was that the students who handwrote their notes actually understood the information better and then were able to later apply that for future studies.
And they might not have had as many notes, right?
Exactly. So the ones who typed had beautiful notes, everything written from the lecturer, so they had more notes, but the ones who handwrote their notes actually had to use some heavy mental lifting when they did it, and therefore did better on their test scores and better understanding of the material.
This is fascinating because so many schools from, elementary school all the way up through college level, more and more people are using tablets and laptops. So perhaps teachers will reconsider, what students are doing because of this eye-opening study.
Right, exactly. Using your computer is faster, it's effective, and it's helpful for things when you need to do online activities like, having an online meeting with your professor or communicating with your peers. But when you are in the classroom setting and you're actually taking notes, it may be beneficial to sit there and actually listen to the lecture and handwrite it out so that you can retain more of that information.
Perhaps if you're a parent and your child does do most of their note-taking at school on, an electronic device, maybe you can have them take some notes on, pen and paper when they get home just to try to understand it a little bit better, or maybe take it in some more.
So we were talking earlier, maybe it's effective to handwrite your notes and then later type it out. So maybe you do it in both ways so you really understand the material. But, doing it the old-fashioned way, the way that when we were in school, is a good way to do it. And really, if you're retaining more and doing better on your test scores, it's something to really go back in the day and think about.
And that old, the old saying of, the more notes you have, the better, might not be the case because, again, you're saying fewer notes might mean that you're taking more in because you just kind of have shorter, notes, but you're understanding it better.
Quality over quantity.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. Mehta, thanks so much for coming in this morning.